Hi, my name's Dan Keane. I'm a composer, producer, and musician based in London. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is a very special one because I never ever thought I was going to give this away. This is DK Gentle Grand, or as I will call it from this point on, the best piano I've ever made. This has so much soul, so much character. It's been beautifully recorded. Let me tell you a little bit of a story about it. Basically, in the summer, I created a really beautifully deep sampled instrument because we wanted to immortalize a set of signals that we'd recorded for some piano recordings. In case we wanted to do any pickups or change a chord or whatever, we would actually have access to a sample instrument, which I thought would be a great idea. And we got about 10 or 12 microphones out. We had the C12s, we had the U87s, we had a pair of Royers, which is the signal that you're listening to now. We had distant mics, close mics. I mean, it really was like just an amazing array just to have sitting in front of you. I played the piano for it and I sampled all of these notes, and basically it was the piano that I've been using for the last 6 months as a mock-up tool because it's just so clean, it's so warm, it's great. It's a Yamaha S6 positioned in a fairly small dry recording studio, but the things I've been able to do with it, I think because it was so nicely recorded, we had such lovely microphones, the piano had just been tuned. This is a really lovely piano to play anyway, but to have it immortalized in this sense, I think is fantastic. Now, what accompanies now a single microphone array, which is the Royers 121s, they're ribbon mics. They sound very warm, they sound very beautiful. To be honest, I think they're the best sounding microphones, so you get that for free. But accompanying it is this wonderful pad, which if I play it on its own, I don't normally tend to play pads by themselves, but I'm just going to show you what that sounds like. It's lovely. We've got some additional controls here. This is a tone knob, so it's a bit of a high cut filter. So you can I would tend to pull it down a little bit because if you listen to the high frequencies, I'm not such a fan of these top notes. So if you just soften it a little bit. And if I show you what that sounds like with the piano as well. You can see it basically mirrors the piano because it is the piano. I took my favorite octaves, I stretched them, mangled them, warped them, and then created these little kind of undulating pads. Now what you can do is just have it come in a little bit. We've got these, I'll just turn this off again. We've got an attack and release, which if you set this really, really short, creates these lovely textures. But then of course we can also have something really long. And if I turn this down a bit and then turn down the sustain, which is the level that it sustains at throughout the note until you let go. So that note is technically still playing. You can start to hear those other elements coming in, which is really nice. It's got a really rich low end as well. Especially with the pad. We've got these fantastic release triggers, and I wanted to try something new with this one, which is something that Christian Henson talked about doing at some point. I don't know if he's experimented with this any further, but basically something that he referred to as Afterglow, which is recording the sound of a note actually being dampened. So what I've done is I've created, we can get rid of that, a whole load of Afterglow release triggers. And the way these work is that the volume of them is modulated by this release trigger counter. So you can see there that after a certain amount of time, it gets dropped off and then replaced by some dry ones, which basically do the opposite. So if I just play a chord, you just hear the sound of the actual note being released as if it's completely dry. But if I hold it for less long, it's a very subtle thing, but I do think it makes a big difference. If I just turn the pedal noise up as well, we've got these. Which sound lovely. And in the context with the piano, as I mentioned the other day with the Scarbo review, which if you haven't seen, I'll leave a link at the end of this video and down below. Some instruments just make you play differently. And this one has me playing in a style that I imagine I'm in some kind of jazz venue or something. Everyone's gone home. There's maybe one person still left, like wiping the bar down. Like, I'm not a jazzer by any means, but it just brings out this harmony in me. I just love it. Yeah, I love it. So you can download this for free from pianobook.co.uk, and I would love to know your thoughts. They've been setting up this review system on the site, and I think it's really helpful to see what features you like about instruments. Is it the character? Is it the playability and stuff like that? And ultimately, it allows us sample creators to get better at doing the things that we do. I would love for at some point Pianobook to have a system where we could then re-upload samples. I know that's something that Christian has talked about before as well. But to be able to do that and then make these instruments better would be fantastic. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Happy Christmas. This is my gift to you. Take care, stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Goodbye.